Well, I guess it's time I reviewed Space Marine 2, a sequel to a game that came out 13 years ago. No, it came out 13 years ago? Oh. Oh my god, I was in middle school. Alright. Alright. Yeah, back on focus. This game is brought to us by Focus Entertainment and Saber Interactive. Now the burning question is, was it worth the wait? Graphics and performance. Visually, the game holds up to industry standard for this current console generation of hardware, but there's a ton of texture pop-in, and it happens a lot during the cutscenes, and it kind of ruins the immersion when characters aren't fully rendering. The online servers could use way more work. I find that it takes forever to load into some PvE modes, and sometimes I get stuck on the victory screen as I wait for the little loading progress bar to even move an inch. However, I am extremely impressed by the amount of enemies that can populate the screen during battles at any given time. It remains Saber's greatest strength here, and you can see this technology used in previous games that they've made, like World War Z. The game's main draw is fighting swarms of an alien faction known as the Tyranids, so be ready for constant swarms and a few drops in your frames per second. I played on the Xbox Series X console and prioritized frames over graphical fidelity, and it reduced the number of frame drops significantly. Overall, this was probably the weakest aspect of the game, and hopefully with a few patches, these issues can be addressed, because it's not like they're game-breaking, but they are inconvenient. Gameplay. This game is so addictive, I'm kind of rushing through recording this review because, I mean, that doesn't sound great. But it's because it's true, because I really just want to keep playing more of this game, because it's just so addicting. You play, once again, as an Ultramarine in the main story, killing swarms of Tyranids and other baddies, but in the multiplayer, you can play one of 6 classes that you can also rotate through. You don't just pick one and get stuck with it. My personal favorite, though, was the Bulwark class, a melee-focused class that had a shield for defensive stances, but personally, I picked it because I liked the way that the melee feels in this game as opposed to the gunplay. However, there's a good variety of guns. I personally liked using plasma weapons, but like I said, I was just so into the melee options like the chainsword or the hammer that I just found it way more entertaining to use when given the option to use them in combat. There's a PvP mode called Eternal War. It's a team-based objectives mode where you kill each other while going after like certain capture points. You know, pretty typical for player versus player. However, everyone kind of feels like they're made out of paper. You can die very quick, and other players die really quick. And it just gets really chaotic, which can be fun, but also annoying when you're trying to understand how a class works, because you'll just have someone run up on you and kill you in 2 seconds. My favorite mode, apart from the campaign, is the PvE operations mode, because not only are all these missions pretty fun, but they also tie in with the main story of the game. You'll play as a separate squad of Space Marines that are fully customizable on a level that is akin to Halo Reach from 2010. During the main campaign, you'll hear of a squad of other Ultramarines and their involvement in helping progress the story, but you also then can go into operations and experience their side of the story as well. It's a great concept with amazing execution. This whole mode is why my review is taking so long. I just keep replaying it. There's 6 classes, like I said, so I just keep playing it through with different classes. And there's different difficulties you can choose from that change some of the bigger encounters in these missions, so it doesn't cause any tedium. It breaks up any tedium that would happen from playing these 6 missions over and over and over again. And, you know, playing with a friend is also really fun, and it's just a good thing to play casually. Simply put it, this plays like a 7th generation third-person shooter. It has ambitious ideas, and thankfully they're all executed pretty well. It has a great PvE mode. This PvP mode is fun, could use some work, but it's at least there. It's just a good package that I enjoy. I had so much fun. I should note that there is a live service aspect, but the only paid content is cosmetic only. All the other content updates as of writing this review on September 14th, 2024 are going to be free to all players. I have one ask, though, of this wonderful sequel. Focus Entertainment, Saber Interactive, if you're seeing this, can we get the orcs back from the first game? Okay, please? I wanna fight orcs again. Can I fight orcs again, please? I miss them. Story. The story here is just serviceable. It's not going to be the must-play story of the year, but it plays out like a science fiction action movie, and it starts with a big bang. You play a member of the Space Marine chapter known as Death Watch. Their mission is to release a chemical bomb on the Tyranid swarm to eliminate their vast and seemingly endless numbers. It all goes wrong, of course. Your dropship gets ripped apart, and all of your Death Watch brothers are slain in battle, leaving you, the kill team leader, on his own. After being cornered by the Tyranid swarm, it is revealed that the kill team leader is none other than Titus, the Ultramarine protagonist from the first game. He's killed by a large Tyranid and his body is recovered by the Ultramarines, and he's reborn/revived, I don't really know exactly what would be the proper terminology here, as a Primaris Marine, which is a newer version of the traditional super soldier Space Marine. Now Titus seeks to redeem himself in the eyes of his Ultramarine brethren. Titus rejoins the Ultramarines, but now as a lieutenant instead of captain. He's been demoted, mainly due to his absence in the last couple centuries, but also due to his accusations of being corrupted, which is heresy in the eyes of the Emperor. However, it seems that there is more than meets the eye to this war, as Titus encounters a second faction on the planet, a rogue chapter of Space Marines known as the Thousand Sons. Now, Titus must not only wipe out the Tyranid swarms, but also to root out the Thousand Sons and their evil plot. The overall, was Space Marine 2 worth the 13-year wait? Absolutely. While it has its flaws, it feels like a vision fully realized, and does a great justice to the 2011 original. I personally feel like I got my $70 worth of entertainment out of it, and I definitely think it's worth playing if crazy third-person shooters appeal to you. That's why my final overall rating for Space Marine 2 is a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Is there any other Warhammer games you want me to review? It could be in the 40k setting or in the fantasy setting. I have a lot more videos on the horizon. October looks like a pretty busy month for me personally. I have one review planned for then, but maybe I'll try to squeeze in another if I have time, but the only two games I'm looking forward to are both RPGs, and I definitely can't play both. If you like what you saw here today, subscribe. If you don't subscribe, I'm going to tell the Emperor, though, and you're going to have a bad time. So, that's on you. All right, bye.